Welcome to the Jones Zone, a podcast by Darryl and JJ Jones.
How do you ensure the comfort and the dignity and the quality of life? What do you do for that?
Dignity is a big deal at Villaggio. I mean, we kind of talk about it on a daily basis, making sure that everybody, that's every part of the staff. It could be food. We're making sure that the food, even in memory care, looks beautiful and is appetizing to someone's eye because we eat with our eyes first. And that really is true with memory care. In care, that means that someone's shirt's not on backwards, right? Or if someone spilled food, we're changing them. We're making sure people get showers on a regular basis, that their hair is done. We have a salon in our community, so hair and nail get done every week. And then again, that's making sure that they feel that purpose and activities too. So it's sort of that whole person perspective.
You know, I'm sure a lot of us have had to deal with folks getting older and having being agitated and things, which I can't blame them for crying out loud when you can't remember things. Do you have any sort of approach that you guys use to handle that really agitated? Just knock them out?
No, not the approach at all. So redirection, we talk about redirection a lot, and the staff at Villaggio, including myself, we get a lot of training and retraining as new research comes out on dementia care and Alzheimer's. We continue to get training. And a lot of our staff has been there a long time, so they know what works and doesn't, but redirection is great. So if someone's saying, my car's out there, I got to get outside, I'm going to leave, no problem. We'll leave in your car in a little bit. Let's grab lunch first. Do you mind helping me with this? A lot of people want to be helpful, even when they're agitated. Can you help me carry this? We had a woman who worked in a office. She was always agitated, looking for her husband who had unfortunately passed. And so we used a paper shredder. Like, can you please help us shred paper? And she would do it. She could do it for a long time and feel very content that she was helping with a job, you know? And so it's all about agree, don't argue. We're not going to, if they're looking for their mother and they're 94 years old, we don't say, your mom died years ago. Instead, I think your mom, she went to go pick up the groceries. She should be back in a bit. And really, it does sound like lying or misdirection, but it's creating an environment that has the least amount of anxiety for our residents. And sometimes, if that memory is going to fade right away, then that's our primary goal, is to keep people calm and happy.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So it's training, experience, knowing how to deal with these situations.
Yeah.
What specialized training and ongoing education do the Villaggio caregivers receive to ensure, they provide that?
Yeah, we have in-services all the time. It might be on very different things. It could be care-related, like learning to use a Hoyer lift, or it could be dementia training, like that redirection we just talked about. And really, it's reminding people to continuously have empathy for somebody in this situation. We want to meet them at their level, or what they say, join the journey, right? So if somebody says, like, someone stole all my things, well, we can see their things are right there in their apartment. Someone stole my purse. We're at their level, like, okay, we're going to file a report for that. Somebody doesn't want to, if you told someone, hey, someone stole my wallet, you don't want to hear like, no, they didn't. Don't listen. We want to treat them like what they're experiencing is real, because it is for their emotions. So that training happens. We also we have a wonderful relationship with UCI Mind, which is a research clinic on memory loss in Orange County. They come and do talks for our family members so that they can learn a little bit more. There are so many families that move their loved one into Villaggio, and then they've got kids and they're like, gosh, do I have the gene for this? Am I going to get dementia also? And so they want to know up and coming studies, what's going on with medications, things like that. So
on that note, is there anything that's worth mentioning that is breakthrough?
There is a new medication out, and it's got some good results. The problem we see with medications is that by the time somebody has what we call MCI, or mild cognitive impairment, to give them a memory drug, it may not have much of an effect. And it's hard to get a memory drug before you have any memory loss. So it's sort of a catch-22.
Closing the door after the barn.
Yeah, exactly. We were just talking, there's a lot of cures for Parkinson's, well, not cures, but there's help for Parkinson's. There's help for cancers like prostate cancer. There's help for heart disease. There's a lot of things going on. So people are living longer. So we're seeing a lot of death rate, especially in Orange County, is due to Alzheimer's and dementia, because we're living past all these things we might have died from before. And now everyone's getting to that point. So I'm hoping that more research gets done because it's affecting more people's lives.
And so the thought is it's not necessarily that we're seeing a spike. Maybe there's data on this that we're aware of, or maybe there's not. But there's not necessarily a spike. Well, the spike isn't driven from natural cause. How do I ask this
you're
question?
right. Yeah.
But it's basically because we're living so much longer.
We're living longer. Yeah. We're living past breast cancer diagnoses. We're living past prostate cancer diagnoses or COPD. We're kind of living past that because we have a lot of money went into research for those things and we were able to cure a lot of that. And now we're living into Alzheimer's and dementia and we haven't done enough about it.
You mentioned family members. What's the role of the family members?
Yeah. So a family member comes in generally pretty stressed out. There's usually an inciting incident. So we like to say, like, nobody chooses memory care for their loved one, right? Nobody's mom said, I can't wait till you move me into a home, right? I mean, that never happens. You're selling homes. They never wanted to leave the home they built, right? So you're already meeting a family in a tough time. They promised their mom this wasn't going to happen, or they really tried hard for a long time to care for mom in the home. And now it's gotten to a point where maybe she's eloped, walked out into the neighborhood in her pajamas, or maybe she's had a fall because you have a multi-level house. Like, there's so many reasons. So we're trying to find out from that family, what's that inciting incident and what's going on that care is just not feasible or sustainable at home anymore. There's not the right people taking care. Maybe your son's moving to Hawaii and now, mom wants to stay in Brea. So we're helping families do that. Oftentimes they have been the caregivers or they've been a managing care staff that's coming to the house that might be unreliable. And so they're looking for an alternative. And so when somebody moves into Villaggio, we do say, hey, stay away for a few days, let them get acclimated, let them start to trust our staff to do the things you were doing for them in the bathroom or with medications, and then come and be a participant. We invite families. There are no visiting hours. Come anytime you like. Please come during an activity and, engage your mom, do exercise class with her, do painting class with her. Come when we have something happening in the movie theater at Villaggio and we can all watch a movie together. There's a lot that you can do to support your loved one once they have moved into memory care.
Yeah, I read somewhere that oftentimes the caregiver passes before the one that they're caring with. So point being is that's such a stressful thing. You can't underestimate the value of what you provide too. It could be saving 2 lives.
If you do have a loved one who is diagnosed with a memory loss in any way, even if you don't think you need memory care now, I would suggest going and touring a memory care. It doesn't have to be Villaggio, but a memory care, because you hear these stories of the wife who's been caring for the husband and then he has a fall and takes her down with him and now she's broken her back and she can't be the caregiver anymore. And now we need an immediate fix for dad. And you don't want to have to make this decision urgently. You'd like to make it with a little bit of leeway or head time. And oftentimes someone's coming to us where a loved one had a stay after the hospital in a skilled nursing, a rehab to get better. And then they get, a call on a Tuesday. Okay, he's discharging on Friday. Where's he going? Home's not safe. And so then they have to hurry up and find a community. So if you do have a loved one who has a hospital stay or you see that they're going to a rehab or a skilled nursing, start looking then if you know that this might be an option, because you could get 48 hours to find them a community and you don't want to have to make that decision fast.
It's almost as though one should possibly think when you turn 60, might be me. You want to start looking into doing a little bit of research, probably like listen to some of the podcasts.
There
and
you go, yeah.
Get familiar with what's out there at least, so when that time does come, you're at least a little bit ahead of schedule.
It's so true. And more people are doing that because they'll come to us at 60 or 65 and say, like, look, my mom or my grandmother had to deal with this and we just want to see what's out there before we have to make a decision in a rush. So yeah, we do recommend come and see Capriana. If you're looking for an independent or assisted community, make sure there's a memory care. And the difference in Villaggio is that it is the separate standalone building with all its own staff. It operates like its own little world inside of Capriana's gates. But there are quite a few communities that have a unit of memory care where maybe there's 12 beds or 18 beds. We just like to think that Villaggio is a bigger environment. So we think that that's promising for people who like to wander. There's more space to wander. For people that may not get along with those 12 people. They've got 55 to choose from. And so we happen to be the right fit for a lot of families. And we're very fortunate for that because we've got a cool group of residents.
Do you have times when there's someone at Capriana who maybe, the staff will notice that is that how that usually develops, where the staff will recognize that, hey, Fred or whoever's missed his meal, he's forgetting things. And then you guys, what are your legal rights as far as what happens there? Do you to notify the family that, hey, we're seeing some more memory loss than normal? But walk us through that.
That's a great question. And it happens all the time. So somebody moves into Capriana completely independent. And then you're right. The part of the reason people move into communities like that is there's more eyes on you, right? And you want that. You want people checking in on you. We have sensors on the doors at Capriana. So if someone doesn't leave their apartment for a while, a certain amount of hours, we're saying, hey, Care, go and check on them. Like, did they have a fall that we don't know about? They also wear pendants. Some of our residents, so they can call for help. There are alert buttons in the bathrooms and
little
things.
Point of reference here. That is a slightly flawed thing, the pendants that you push.
Yeah.
My poor aunt, I love her to death, but she fell and she forgot she had the pendant. She was down for 8 hours.
And that's a perfect example of why we do not have pendants at Bellagio, because we cannot rely on our residents with memory care to remember to push their pendant when they need help. But these are independent residents that still, they know what they need. And so they carry a pendant as a safeguard. But if the staff is starting to say, hey, that behavior is a little unlike so-and-so, or, she's acting a little different, she's not eating, she hasn't been going to her card games, it's not just the staff too, it could be her neighbors. Sometimes, we have a close-knit group of residents. We're often compared to Morningside, which is a lovely community in Fullerton, but they're huge. They're massive. And, we're talking about 100 residents at Capriana, and everybody knows everybody. Everyone's saying, wait a minute, I usually eat lunch with him and he's not here today. What's going on? And so if we see that decline and it has something to do with memory, then our nurse and our health and wellness department at Capriana is talking with the family. So we're all getting together. We're having care plan meetings. Does she need a little more help? Does she just need reminders? Does she need an escort to the dining room? What's going on? And then eventually it gets to a point where she may need updated doctor paperwork. So a doctor is going to say, check a box. Hey, you know what? She does have dementia. And then that triggers us to start the process of transitioning someone to Bellagio.
And when you say the doctor does that would normally be that doctor that you talked about? Or
it could be our concierge doctor. It could be their primary care physician. It could be your neurologist. So we've had instances like, this is just not like him. Maybe he needs a brain scan. And then the family will go to the neurologist of that resident and get some tests done. And then we'll be able to see, oh, you know what? Yeah, we are seeing there's signs of memory loss or there is a diagnosis of dementia. And then we start to kind of transition that resident into an environment that is more geared towards somebody like that needs those things.
And if that happens, obviously then someone else is going to start having to make decisions for these folks. What's the rule on that? You need 2 doctors' notes?
Yeah, you do. So 2 doctors need to be able to say, hey, it's not safe for her to make her own decisions anymore. And usually our residents at Capriana, they're pretty good about having a lot planned out. So they have a power of attorney or something going on. And so families are able to make those decisions for the best interest of the resident who can't necessarily make those decisions for themselves anymore.
Speaking on that, so do you have kind of a checklist to when families check in, say, hey, by the way, are you in trust or do you have a power of attorney? And it's a series of questions to kind of help them through that maybe they would totally forget about.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's an important part of moving into Capriana because heaven forbid somebody passes, where does that entry fee go back to, right? So we have quite a few forms that someone is filling out. There's a lot of paperwork when you move into a community like ours, and we can walk y'all through it. It's very easy, but there is that paperwork because we want to make sure that we're honoring your wishes, whatever happens next, whether it's a memory care diagnosis or a death or anything like that.
Pretty thorough, which of course is what you want.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for families considering memory care for a loved one? How can they elevate and choose the right community? What advice do you have to give?
Yeah, so it's important to think about location. So we have a lot of families that maybe there are several brothers and sisters, and sometimes they want to triangulate. Like somebody's in San Diego and someone's in NorCal, and I'm here in Orange County. You kind of want to pick a place where someone's going to get visits often, because short, often visits we say in memory care, they just make the biggest impact on our residents. So it doesn't necessarily make a giant impact if someone comes from San Francisco every third month to see mom for 2 days. Makes an impact if someone can stop by on their way home from work. So we have a lot of residents who have families in Yorba Linda, Fullerton, even Placentia, La Habra, that are local and close, even Chino Hills, that can come and see their loved ones on a regular basis. So that's important. And then you're looking for your loved ones. So we always say, you know them best. So if you know your mom best, what's important to her? Is it important that she have a lot of activities going on? Is food really important to her? Is outdoor space important to her? Check out the courtyard, then that's important. So you want to know what the family's values are. And sometimes I tour families and their values do not fit Villaggio. Maybe it's a cost issue. Maybe they say, look, my dad's antisocial. He's never going to participate in anything. Well, then it's not worth paying this every month for him, right? But if you think we can engage him, then we're the right community for him.
Oh, you answered my next question. So that was wonderful. Thank you for that. So share with us some of the collaborations Villaggio has with some of the local healthcare providers. How does that work?
Yeah. So there are our local podiatrist, for instance, that comes in, local mobile dentistry comes in. So we take a lot of that burden off of families that may have had to move somebody into like a doctor, like transport them to a doctor's office or anything like that. But also when it comes to support groups, we're very close with Alzheimer's OC and the Alzheimer's Association. In fact, in our area, they have online support groups, and that changed with COVID. And so even family members who are maybe a constant 24-hour caregiver for their loved one, they can get on a Zoom with other people and commiserate and ask for advice and get information about support in the area. We have also a very strong Parkinson's support group at Capriana and Villaggio. And Parkinson's can lead to dementia, it's actually under the umbrella of dementia. And so families can come there and that's outside of the community too. So if you have Parkinson's or a diagnosis of Parkinson's and you want to go to a support group, we have one at Capriana. You're welcome to it. And it's a really incredible group of people that are all dealing with a lot of the same symptoms. They have doctors come and speak. We have, again, research clinics come and speak, like UCI Mind. So it's kind of just making sure that our families feel supported when they do get a diagnosis, or our residents even feel supported when they get a diagnosis.
You mentioned something about the dentist and podiatrist. So is there a dentist office there, or is there the dentist literally comes to Capriana or Villaggio and then sees the patient?
You should see them. They wheel in all their equipment, and they can't do everything, but they can do quite a bit. They're called In Motion Dental, and they come in with a van and they wheel in a bunch of stuff, and they can fix a lot, and they can do cleanings and fix a lot.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's a great service.
Do you see anything on the horizon for the future of memory care at the Villaggio or in general?
I think just dementia and Alzheimer's, it's hitting more people. Everyone is now knowing somebody. There's movies about it. I mean, we're just getting more exposure. So I'm hoping that means more support for these families, more empathy, and more money towards research. So that's going to be huge. But I think just at Villaggio alone, we're seeing technology play a huge role in memory care. We just got a really awesome, it's called Rendeavor, and it's a virtual reality headset. And so our residents who may be living in the past or want to reminisce, we've got a gentleman, he's an amazing guy.
Hippie? A hippie?
Yeah. Well, he grew up on a Cherokee reservation, and he's a veteran Cherokee. He's very proud of that. And so we were able to put these goggles on and go back to that place in Oklahoma, and he can see what the reservation looks like now, which is so cool. We can also show him what his old high school looked like back then when he was there. So just being able to bring those memories back to somebody, like those moments of joy are like, they give you goosebumps. They're so awesome. And so to be able to use technology to showcase some of that I think is going to be a game changer in memory care.
Wow, that is exciting for
very cool.
Anybody. Yeah. So, Sammy, what inspired you to pursue this career in senior care?
Well, I didn't plan on it. I got a degree in English from UC Irvine, and I started working as a lifeguard in what used to be Leisure World down in South County, and I grew to love seniors. I loved their stories. I have heard so many stories over the years, working for about 18 years in senior living, and then memory care is just very close to my heart. I have a grandmother who was diagnosed with dementia. I watched her live in a not so nice senior living community, and I just wanted to be able to provide a full life for seniors, especially with memory loss. That purpose and engagement is important to me.
Well, it seems as though this is potentially becoming an underserved community with so many people aging. And are there a lot of new facilities being built? Oops, not facilities, new communities.
No, yeah, there are, because we know that baby boomer generation, we're calling it the silver tsunami, right? It's coming, and we need to be able, and people are living longer, so we need to be able to find communities for the giant population of seniors that's coming toward us. So yeah, more senior communities, all different levels, all different price options for people. It's important to have those choices, but look into it soon. You don't want to be caught off guard and have to make a fast decision.
Perfect segue, Sammy. If any of our listeners want to contact you to tour the facility or have more questions for you, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, I'm happy to. You can always look us up. We are Oakmont of Villaggio or Oakmont of Capriana if you're looking for independent senior living on the web, and you can schedule a tour right there on our website. My email address is sfox, F-O-X, at oakmontmg.com. Give us a call, 714-985-5500.
All right. Well, gosh, thank you so much for coming in and doing this. I really appreciate it. I'm hoping that the audience will get the feel of Capriana. And I can tell you for firsthand experience, I've been there because we have our Rotary meeting there. Beautiful. Just beautiful.
They did it right. Yeah. You got to come see it. So please, your listeners.
Guests, come in and take a look at it. All right. Well, thank you, Sammy Fox. Everybody, contact her if you have any questions, and signing off. And please subscribe so we can get this valuable information out to more people.
Thanks, Darryl.
All right. Take care now.